is Jennifer and welcome to my tutorial about all things frogs in Sims 4. To begin with, I can think of three main things when it comes to frogs. First off, where to find them. Secondly, completing the frog collection. And the third thing is breeding frogs for money. I'm sure there's other things, but those are the main things that I can think of. And we are here at Oasis Springs Park with my two Sims, one who is right here. They are my Sims for the Nomad challenge, which I will put a link to the challenge rules down below. But the basic premise is that you start with two Sims and they start with no money, and they are not allowed to put any permanent structures on their home lot until they have completed their first collection. Hence the nomad aspect of it. They can buy things like tents or coolers or barbecues even, because they aren't permanent anymore. Things like that. Portable showers, those things that mainly come with outdoor retreat, so you primarily need outdoor retreat to do this particular challenge. If you can put it in your inventory, you can get it and use it. So, and then the goal is to complete all the base game collections and to build a museum and whatnot, but you can't start building anything until you complete your first collection. So in this case, I am having them work on the frog collection, and this is not, they have not just started out, they already have some of the frogs, they just have to finish the frog collection. When we go back to their lot, we will see what they have collected, but that will be sort of the last part about how to finish a collection. So first off, where do you find frogs in the game? One of the main things that probably people know about are the frog logs. The second thing are what I would say they look like, kind of like a wooden well, hidden well, old abandoned well. And we will take him to one, because since we're in Oasis Springs, they have them here. So we can see what that looks like. And then the third one is the ponds. There are 3 ponds in the base game world. One is in Oasis Springs, the other is in Willow Creek, at the park in Willow Creek, and the other one is at Sylvan Glade, which is the hidden lot you get to from Willow Creek. I will do a separate video on how to get to Sylvan Glade next time, so we will see how to get there, but we don't need that for today. So first off, we're going to go and look at how it works to collect frogs from the ponds. So we have the pond here. Now this is an edited version of the Desert Bloom Park, but it is the original park just with things added to it to update it for toddlers and backyard stuff. I have an easel there. I've just updated it to add things that have come from various parks. I'll show you a look at it afterwards, but for now, here is the pond. So when you click on the pond, you have a few options, one of which is look for frogs. So you are not going to get a frog every time you have them look for frogs. It is going to be a random occurrence. I wouldn't say it's 1 and 2. It's just very hit and miss, but you can get different types of frogs. And the advantage of going to different ponds in the worlds is that while they have some similar frogs from the ponds, they also have different ones. So if you want to complete the frog collection, the more places you look for frogs at, the better and easier it is for you to collect frogs. Now if we look here, you might be wondering, how do you find out which frogs they've already collected? So he didn't catch a frog there. And you go into their inventory, and then there's this button here that says Household Collections, the little diamond, and we're going to click on it. And they have actually completed one collection, but that was a special, the Plant Sim collection, and since it was fairly easy to complete, I figured it shouldn't count, and I'm wanting them to complete one of the base game collections, which are harder, to actually complete that part of the Nomad challenge. So we have 19 of 25, because it looks like they got an eggplant whirl frog. One of them caught an eggplant whirl frog. So we have 19 of 25, so they have 6 more frogs they need to catch. And that's where you find where you are in terms of which frogs you've caught and which ones you have. Well, you don't know which ones you have left from here, because you just can see that it's common. Keep looking. Uncommon, uncommon, rare, uncommon, and this one would be rare just because of the location of it. So you just get an idea of which ones are missing. They just tell you which ones are here. Now what I also like to do is I go to the Carl Sims 4 site to look for the information on frogs, and I am going to link that down below. And it's very useful when it comes to trying to breed the frogs for completing your collection, or trying to find more valuable frogs for money if that's what your goal is. So they're just randomly going to look for frogs. Because they have already collected a lot of frogs already, I'm not going to go to the other parks. Well, for one thing, we'll do Sylvan Glade in another part. I will take them to Sylvan Glade. So while they're looking for frogs here, this is my version of the park. It's been updated for the toddler stuff, and there's a basketball net, and even a food court thing for hot dogs and hamburgers there. So essentially, I've just updated it, and water slide from backyard stuff and whatnot. So is he finished? She is not quite finished, so we're going to have her look for some more frogs for a bit, and then I'm going to just have her go fishing, because I'm going to take Leon to the back of the park too. So we're here, and if you go all the way back, this is actually a really good spot for fishing and collecting, catching cowplant berries, but I have found those in many spots. But over this side, the back right hand side, is the best place to find the one frog log that we have in this park, right here. Or it's not a frog log, I'll say it's a well. It looks like a well to me. A pump, an abandoned well with a pump on it. So we're gonna wait for him to come back and see what he collects. So Leon is here, and with this, I've already asked him to look for the frogs. You had noticed that I selected that before he came, and he is looking. And the thing with the frog logs and this well is that it's guaranteed to get a frog. The difference with the well is that the actual well doesn't disappear, but it has it that there are no signs of amphibians at this time. Whereas with the frog logs, when you look at them, they disappear and then they respawn later. So I don't know what he caught, because it doesn't actually, he got a sunflower frog. And so let's just take a quick look at where they are in terms, and that it shows there. So he was the one who got the eggplant whirl because it has a star. And he got a heart frog and sunflower, which we just got there, and he got a surfer eggplant that was considered to be new. Some of these I think they maybe already had. So let's take a look at their inventory. So they are now missing 3 frogs, 1 uncommon and 2 rare. So we are going to take them home and try and do some breeding at home with the frogs. And we will see you when I get there. So we are back home, and we have the frogs that they originally had, which are sitting on this, it is a permanent structure, but I use it because it's only for me to be able to move the frogs around on the lot, and it doesn't benefit them at all. So I kind of have that as an exclusion to the not putting anything permanent, because it doesn't help them, it only helps me. So the ones that are actually on the little flat deck are ones they had already, and the ones that they have just caught I've put off to the side. And I will put them in this format as soon as we have gone over the frog types and attributes, which is a chart that's from the Carl Sims 4 site, and I am going to insert it here. So the 5 frog types are leaf, dirt, eggplant, heart, and sunflower, as you can see from the chart. And then the attributes are either none, striped, spotted, surf, or whirl. And the chart that is here, that comes from the Carl Sims 4 site, is a very good way to lay out your frogs when you're trying to breed them together to get the missing frogs, which I will go over. And it's not guaranteed that you'll get them, but it's a start and makes it easier to do it. So you hopefully have had a good glimpse of the chart. I am going to link down below to the guide on collecting frogs in the description, which will also include this chart. So here we are back, and this is a heart frog, which goes there, as you would have noticed from the chart, and the sunflower frog. And this particular one is a dirt whirl, and the last column is whirl, and this row is dirt, so that's why that goes there. And then this is an eggplant whirl, and again, this particular whole row is eggplant, and that is a whirl frog. So let us see whether or not we can breed frogs in their inventory. And so the 3 frogs we're missing are all heart frogs. So we're missing what the equivalent to the spot. We're missing the spotted heart, and then the heart surfer. And I have the list in front of me still. This one is the bullseye frog. So the whirl and the heart is considered a bullseye frog. So let me look in her inventory. I don't know if she has a spotted eggplant. And since I don't know, I'm going to put it in her inventory. She did not. And then the other one is I want to put the striped heart. And she didn't have that either. So I'm going to, how you breed frogs is you click on it and you select the option to breed frog with. And I'm going to obviously do it with the striped heart, which luckily is right at the top. But we got another striped heart and didn't get a new, well, it's a new frog in our inventory, but it's not a different frog. So I'm going to put that over there because we're going to use it again. And then that was the spotted eggplant. So I have bred frogs somewhat recently in Leon's inventory, so I'm not sure whether I can breed them yet. I can. So I'm going to take the spotted eggplant. He already has one because it disappeared, so it collapsed with something else. And the striped heart, he had that one too. But I was going to take a quick look, but the spotted eggplant is right at the bottom. So I'm actually going to take the one back out there. Hit escape. So I'm going to breed the spotted eggplant with the striped heart, which is right there. And we got another striped heart. So we'll put that one there and leave the other one there and put that one back in her inventory. So we did not get a new frog. So we will wait till the time lapses, which is about 4 hours, and come back and try and breed again to see if we can get the missing 3 that we're trying to get. So enough time has passed that we can breed the frogs again. We are in Leon's inventory. So I'm going to take the spotted eggplant and breed it with a heart frog. That one will be good enough because we're trying to get a striped heart frog. Sorry, we're trying to get a spotted heart frog, and we were successful. We got a spotted heart frog. That's what we got. So there we've got one more of our 3 missing ones. So I'm going to switch over to Tina's inventory, and I'm going to put the spotted heart frog in there. And I cannot remember if she has the, I don't know if she has a surfer eggplant, so I'm just going to put it in her inventory. It looks like she did not. So I'm going to breed the surfer eggplant with the spotted heart frog. And we got another surfer eggplant. So we were successful in getting one more frog this go round. So essentially that's all you do. You just keep breeding the frogs until you get them. And the goal, if you're noticing, is that I'm taking the ones that are sort of kitty corner. You could also go with the sun surfer, and obviously the heart one worked too. But the main thing is you want to breed the type with the attribute to try and get the one in the middle. So something else that has the same attribute and the type of frog. So you would want, in this case, we are trying to get a surfer heart frog. So you want to breed a surfer frog with a heart frog. Or we also want the bullseye, which is the whirl, the heart frog with the whirl attribute. So you, in this case, are going to breed a whirl frog with the heart frog. I just tend to make it easier and keep the actual kitty corner, and that's another way. So we already own the whirly flower frog, which is the sunflower frog and the whirl frog, and it is the most valuable one in the game, which is 160 simoleons. And so if you're trying to make money with frogs, these rare ones that are worth 160, there is Sun Surfer is 125, and then there's a few that are 100, not that one, the eggplant whirl, the leopard, and the dirt whirl is 120. So you see the dirt surfer is 100. So there's a few there that are in that 100 to 160 range. So if you try and get those rare ones by breeding, like if you breed a hypno or essentially a whirl frog with a sunflower frog, you have a chance of getting a whirly flower frog, and so on and so on. And you can see why this sort of setup just makes it easier to do it. And then once you have 2 whirly flower frogs or 2 rare expensive frogs, you just every 4 hours or so breed them together. And then what I would normally do is I would just drag it from the one sim to the other sim's inventory like that. And then you can go into their inventory and breed there. We've just bred in both their inventories, so we can't do it, but that is how you can make money also from frog breeding. And I will keep trying and show you the completion of this, but of course we'll have some time lapse in the middle because it might take a little bit of time for us to complete it. We're back. Spotted heart. Got a duplicate. But in this case, I'm going to put this Sun Surfer directly into Leon. So it's the one with the Surfer attribute. So we're going to read Spotted Heart with Sun Surfer. And we got the Heart Surfer. So we got one more. 4 hours to go and we'll try again. So we're back. We've had some failed attempts and not been successful. So we are going to try again. I put the Heart Surfer into Leon's inventory. I'm going to breed it with a Whirly Flower. We could also breed it with the one above. And we got a Heart Surfer. I want to just move one over to Tina's inventory. And you know what? I'm going to try and mix it up and put an Eggplant Whirl in her inventory and try and breed those because I'm not having any luck with the Whirly Flower. I've tried a few times, which I did not include here for you to see. Heart Surfer with the Eggplant Whirl. Yay, there we go. Collection complete, the frogs collection. So we have a little message here. It says, a complete collection of frogs, how exquisite. A local patron of nature has sent you a reward for your full collection. So they have now completed all their frogs, which if we go in here, we can see that it says 25 of 25 frogs collected. Now with the Nomad challenge, I have to keep them all. Because the goal, as I had mentioned before, is to set up a museum and essentially display all of the collections. You can sell duplicates, but you're not supposed to sell the initial ones that you have in your inventory. So I found the Eggplant Whirl, and you can see here, not that you can really tell that I have different frogs here, but that's what the full frog collection looks like. To sum up, we first went over where you can find frogs in the game, which there are 3 spots. One is in frog logs, which are found in most of the worlds in the game that have frogs, except for Oasis Springs. For the most part, in Oasis Springs, we instead tend to find water pumps for frogs. And then the third place is in ponds, which there is a pond in the Willow Creek Park, there's a pond in the Oasis Springs Park, and there's a pond in Sylvan Glade, which is a hidden world, which I will go over in my next tutorial. We visited the one in Oasis Springs today. Secondly, I went over a strategy on how to complete the frogs collection, which I find one of the easier collections to complete. Once you've collected a whole bunch of them, I tend to lay them out in that format that I have shown, that came from the Carl Sims 4 site, and then I breed the frog with the attribute to a frog with the type together to get the missing frog. And we also saw that it's not 100% successful because sometimes you get ones you already have, but it is a good strategy combined with looking for frogs to try and complete your frog collection. And thirdly, that method of breeding frogs to try and complete your collection, once you've done that, if that's your goal, you could do that, or you could just use it to breed frogs together to get more valuable frogs to then continue to breed them and make money off those frogs because you can just sell them in your inventory. Or if you have city living, you can get the little table and sell them off of there. So I hope you found this helpful. Please leave any comments below if you have any other things you'd like to see tutorials on, apart from the Sylvan Glade one that I'll be doing next week. I'd like to thank you very much for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye! If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. If you like the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks very much.